Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel where we talk about the things we love like gaming, shows, and anime. So, after countless hours of playing Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden for the 3DS, I finally finished playing through it all, and boy do I have a lot to say about this game. Is it bad? Is it good? Let's find out. So for starters, I'd like to talk about something I mentioned when the trailer to the game came out. In my review for Dragon Ball Z Super Sonic Warriors 2, I mentioned that the trailer to this game showed us that there are similarities between Extreme Butoden and Super Sonic Warriors 2. And could this possibly be Super Sonic Warriors 3? The answer is no. Both games do have a DP system, which stands for Dragon Points, and they are a way of showing you who is stronger and who is weaker. The higher the DP, the stronger the character. Another similarity is a support character feature. This allows you to select non-playable characters who can be summoned to help you out by either healing you, distracting the opponent, or even inflicting damage on the opponent. And that seems to be the only similarities between both games. The gameplay isn't at all similar. Extreme Butoden's gameplay is like a reamped version of the Butoden series. In case you guys don't know what the Butoden series gameplay is like, well, it's very identical to the gameplay of the Marvel vs. Capcom series. So is it fun? Well, let's see. It took me a while to get used to the gameplay and pull off some combos, but after you get some practice, the game begins to get a little too easy to defeat the CPU opponents. If you're really good at playing Marvel vs. Capcom, you'll easily master this game. The controls are great and the gameplay does seem to be a fast-paced, but I feel like it's too easy to defeat an opponent. The health bar runs out pretty quick, so I'm guessing that's why there are multiple support characters that heal you. The game does include beam struggles and button mashing moments, which I kinda like, but when you perform your character's super special or ultimate special, it takes forever for the character to launch the attack and strike the opponent. It does get very annoying, especially when that's the only way to earn more points on adventure mode. The story mode is like most Dragon Ball Z story modes. You choose a character to play as for their story and complete it. There are what-if stories for most of them, but they are not worth mentioning. They are very lazy and make little to no change, such as the Z Fighters manage to defeat Nappa, but then the Cybermen appear and they each self-destruct on Tien, Chaozu, and Yamcha. So basically they still die. There is one what-if story mode that you unlock once you complete the story modes for all the good guys. This one is called the Villains Saga and it is epic. The only one that is worth checking out, even though the cutscenes are all very lazy and uninteresting. In this story mode, Pilaf collects the Dragon Balls and summons Shenron. His wish is to bring back all the villains that were defeated by Goku and his friends. Then, for the second wish, he wishes to unlock all their hidden potentials, and that's what makes it even more intense. Right away, most of the villains head out to take down the hero that killed them. Nappa heads out to take down Vegeta, Cell looks for Gohan, Frieza looks for Goku and Trunks. The dialogue is very interesting and Cell becomes a lot more stronger than most of the characters because since he has the cells of many fighters, all of them are taken as separate unlocked potentials. I want to explain what happens next, but I won't spoil the surprise as it does get even better and better. Now, the music is pretty good and enjoyable to listen through. There are some pretty good tracks, and there's one song that sounded very similar to a song in the Super Sonic Warriors 2 game, so that's yet another similarity between both games. There are more modes to play through after completing the story modes. There is the Z story mode, which I just mentioned, the adventure mode, the Extreme World Tournament, the battle mode, the Versus mode, and quest mode. The adventure mode lets you take on missions across 8 regions where you can find items and unlock support characters. The battle mode lets you play a regular match against the CPU. The wireless mode lets you play against a friend via local wireless connection. And the quest mode lets you create, view, and trade guild cards via Street Pass. There are only about 25 playable characters in the game, and some of them are the same character but in the Super Saiyan form. I hate when they do this because that just makes it seem like a very lazy way of including extra characters. And it feels like a cheap excuse to use a character slot by doing this. I know Super Sonic Warriors 2 did the same thing and I love the crap out of that game, but at least some of the characters like Adult Gohan could go Super Saiyan during the game. Here there are no in-game transformations, but the biggest strength this game has is the amount of support characters. There are over 92 support characters to choose from. Now that's a huge number of support characters and I'm glad they did this. That means I'll have plenty of time to kill trying out every single support character and make up my own very cool special team. But again, I would have really liked it if there was more concentration on playable characters, because if we have to choose the same character but in a different transformation, then it's gonna get really boring right away. The support characters are nice and all, but they are only the type of characters that appear for a brief moment when you summon them, so they don't seem as interesting as you expect. One thing they definitely did a great job with are the graphics. The picture quality looks so colorful, and especially with the 3D turned on. That was the first thing that caught my attention when I tried out the demo. But now it's time to mention all the bad things with the game. As soon as you begin a match, you're gonna want to know the basics, right? So the first thing you'll do is check out the tutorial mode. But guess what? There is no tutorial mode. So then you're gonna try the next best thing, the practice mode. But guess what else? There is no practice mode. Now that's a big shit stain on a fighting game right here. So what other options do I have left? Well, hey, the game comes with a handbook. That's gotta show me at least the basics, right? But look at this shit. What is this? You call this an instruction booklet? All it has is the same warning message in a shitload of different translations. What is it with instruction booklets and the lack of information nowadays? So basically you're fucked. You have no other choice but to try and learn everything on your own. But wait, if you pause the game, you can look at the move list. Yeah, that's true. But then once you play through the adventure mode, you're gonna find another annoying thing to complain about. I'll mention why in a bit. After you look through the move list, you realize that the only way to perform an ultimate special is by connecting a combo and having 150% or 200% of ki. I get that you need to charge your ki to the highest, but having to connect a combo? That shouldn't be a requirement. Why can't you simply launch your ultimate special without having to connect a large combo? Now if you manage to pull off the ultimate special, you'll realize that they are not as exciting as you expected them to be. All it is a large ki blast or signature ki blast depending on the character you choose. Goku will perform a Kamehameha if he performs his ultimate special on the ground, but he'll launch the Spirit Bomb if he performs it in the air. But wait, if you're aiming to pull off your 200% ki ultimate special, you better know whether your character pulls it off on the ground or in the air, because even if it's at 200%, you won't be able to make it work on the ground or in the air depending on your character. If this makes sense. You will instead end up doing a less powerful ki blast. And then like I said, whenever you pull off a special, it takes like about 30 seconds to finally hit the opponent. One thing I really hate is that this game does not have any combo specials like most DBZ games. There are only ki blast specials, and that doesn't make the experience any better. I love seeing my character beat the shit out of the opponent with an insane combo and launch them into the ground, followed up by a special ki blast. That is how you pull off an entertaining ultimate special. These ones are like the old school DBZ games, so you'd expect a lot more from a game nowadays. Now let me talk about the adventure mode. Here you go through many missions in a what-if storyline that has all the villains resurrected again, and Goku has to fight them all while trying to discover how to become a Super Saiyan God. The only unsatisfying thing is that after you fight the opponents, Goku lets them escape, so the result just seems very weak and uninteresting. The only cool thing I like is that even though the adventure mode is all about Goku, you can still choose any characters you want, including support characters, so that you don't start to get bored easily. Only problem is the way you unlock support characters. As I mentioned, there are close to 100 support characters, so you have many to unlock. This should be fun, right? Hell no! This is the part that really sucks ass. You have to get an S rank in order to unlock the support character. There are very few that can be unlocked with an A rank, but those don't even show up in the description that tells you your rewards. So you have no clue that you would unlock a support character when you reach an A rank instead of an S rank. Can't really complain there, but the way to get an S rank is absurd. In order to get an S rank, you have to use your support character 4 times or more. You must use a special ki blast that uses up 50% of your power. You must make a combo that reaches a large number such as 100, and you must perform a 200% ultimate special. This might not seem like a big problem, but trust me, it gets very frustrating. And it takes all the fun out of every mission. Oh, and I forgot to mention one more thing. You must complete the mission objective. This could be anything from defeat your opponent without being hit, defeat your opponent in the air, reach a 40 hit combo, and many more. These might not seem like a big problem, but the one mission I could not complete was to perform an ultimate combo. Why is this a problem, you ask? Because the fucking game doesn't show you how the hell to perform an ultimate combo. Sure, you can check the move list in the pause menu, but that is not included in the menu. So I'm left with wondering, how the hell do you pull this off? I tried pretty much everything there is and nothing would work. I think it wants me to pull off one of those insane cheap combos that juggle the opponent until they're dead, but I can never pull those off. Why? Because again, the fucking game doesn't show you how to do that. I've seen players on YouTube perform them, but I've tried them over and over, but no results. So in the end, I managed to complete every mission except for the ones that require you to perform an ultimate combo. Now, there is something I have to mention about this game and unlocking more characters without playing through the adventure mode. You have cheat codes! Yeah, apparently this game felt the need to bring back the classic cheat codes that have stopped existing since the 360 and PS3 came out. But guess what? They don't work well. What do I mean by that? I mean that even though you press the correct buttons, most of the time they will not work. In fact, I've mashed random buttons and I actually managed to unlock most characters that way. What the fuck is that all about? Also, sometimes even when you do complete the mission and you reached over 400 points, which are the amount of points needed to reach an S rank, the game won't count it. You'll for some reason still receive an A rank. Here's another issue. If you pre-ordered the game, you would receive 5 extra support characters, which sounds awesome. But then while I played through the adventure mode, those 5 characters are unlockable. So then why the hell do they include them in a pre-order special when they are already in the game? That's so much bullshit. Plus, they weren't interesting characters. One of them is fucking Garlic Jr. of all people. So as you can see, there are so many problems with this game. But there is one thing I was really hoping for. The mother of all features that every Dragon Ball Z game should have. Online matches. And this fucking game does not include online matches. What the fuck were they thinking? They made a Dragon Ball Z game with a fuck ton of support characters and the gameplay very identical to the Marvel vs. Capcom series, and you're telling me that they did not include online matches? You stupid Super Saiyan jackasses! This is no longer an option to have. This is mandatory to all fighting games nowadays. Imagine if you played Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS and it did not include online matches. That would piss the world off. So that's my take on Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden. Oh, and you can also unlock words so you can name your own team. Not interesting. You know why? Because we can't share them to the world in an online match. Only through via Street Pass. But if you're like me, you're never going to carry this game wherever you go. Chances are you'll go back to Super Smash Bros. And continue kicking ass in that game, because at least when you get rewarded via Street Pass, it's a lot more satisfying in this one. In Smash Bros, of course. In my opinion, this game gets a 6 out of 10. The gameplay is enjoyable, but you'll forget about it the more you play it. Well, that's it for the review. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, put a thumbs up. And if there are any more videos you would love to request, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you want a shout out, a video request, or you want to ask me a question for the next Q&A video, I strongly recommend you post it on my Facebook page. And if you want to see more of my videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because it really helps me out a lot. And I'll be sure to let you know when I post up more videos. As for now, this is Score saying have an awesome day. Oh, and I've been sick lately, so I have not indeed been having an awesome day myself. Sad face.